WKRP. And Johnny, he was actually the one on the air when Les Nessman was out and the turkeys were flying out of the helicopter. One of the greatest episodes ever in television history.
Oh, yes.
I'll never forget that. Whenever the general manager of the station turned around and says, "God is my witness, I did not know that turkeys couldn't fly."
That never gets old.
One of the funniest lines ever from any TV show ever. What a deal. But yes, Johnny Fever's birthday today, so happy birthday. WKRP, that's why we're playing. All right, we've got Sonia in the studio this morning from Bryan Insurance Agency, and been a while since she's been out of pocket with doing all kinds of stuff. And so, Sonia, what do you got for us today?
Yeah, I'm glad to be back with all my traveling and stuff. It's probably been over a month, I think, but I'm glad to be back to talk to y'all. And today we're going to talk about restaurants, and I know we all like to go out to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and just some of the needs of insurance that restaurants have. We at Bryan Insurance write several restaurants, and we are wanting to increase that because we have some great insurance companies that provide great coverage, and so that's why I thought we'd talk about it today. Restaurant insurance is just coverage that protects your customers, your employees, your property and inventory, and you know, every restaurant is unique, so they're going to have different needs, and also, you know, you just have to make a decision on which coverages you're going to purchase. You may not purchase them all, and some of the things I talk about today are not always included in a policy, so you need to make sure you understand what coverage you're getting. But so, you know, you could lose your stuff, your property, you know, your equipment, your inventory. You could get sued if somebody eats in your restaurant and gets food poisoning and it's proven that they got it there, they could sue you, or especially if you serve alcohol. And there's somebody's overserved and they have an accident on the way home. So they, you know, the liability, and then you could, you know, make a mistake, which is basically the food poisoning thing I was talking about. And, you know, usually in those cases, if the restaurant knows that it was from them, you know, they don't have to wait till they get sued. They, you know, there's coverage there. But so a little more details on the property insurance. That's, you know, your building, the stuff inside, your including, you know, all your cooking equipment and stuff like that. And you know what can happen to buildings: fire,
right,
wind, theft of your contents. Spoilage is really important if you're a restaurant, because if there's a power outage in your or you know, something similar to that, and all your food that you purchased to sell it, you know, cook and serve is ruined, then that's a big investment that you made that you've lost. So you can actually buy insurance called spoilage insurance for that. And then general liability, that's if somebody gets hurt in your restaurant, and that goes with that food poisoning thing that we were talking about. And then another one is liquor liability. If you're in the business to sell alcohol and you don't have liquor liability, you need to talk to somebody today. That is a huge exposure, and I've actually been involved in a claim. One of our clients in a different city had a claim. It was ugly. They had the coverage, thank goodness, and it was eventually proven that they did not do anything wrong. However, their insurance defended them until, you know, paid for their defense costs. And so, because that's the thing, people can say you did anything, and you're the one that has to defend it. So, okay, so that's a big one. And then workers' compensation, that's for any business that has employees. That covers if your employees are hurt on the job, for their expenses and medical bills, and if they lose any time at work, that kind of thing. And then people don't always think of auto insurance for deliveries. Obviously, if you have a valet service, you know, you would need a certain type of auto insurance. But more than likely, somebody, even if your business doesn't park customer cars, if the business doesn't own a van or a car or anything like that, you probably have somebody that uses their auto on your behalf. Like one of your customers, you know, you ran out of cheese and you ran to the store, sent an employee to the store to get it, and they have an accident. Well, the employee, you know, has coverage for them, but the person that they hurt or they injure hurt somebody or damage their vehicle, if they find out, which they will, if the accident's bad enough in discovery, if they found out that they were working for your business, they will sue your business. And so it's called non-owned auto liability, and it's super important. It's usually not very expensive. So, and I could go on and on. There's a lot of different insurance issues with restaurants. A lot of recommendations that we can give you about safety that have to do with restaurants that we and your insurance company. So there's a lot, and I know we don't have time to talk about all of them, but we bring that up, and we just encourage, if you have a restaurant, if you're listening to this and you work for a restaurant, you might want to mention it to your employer. We would love for you to give us a call, come see us, let us get a chance to look at your insurance, maybe help you see what you have now, what we might recommend. Let us quote. We're an independent agency, so we have many companies that we can look at for you and get different quotes for you. So that's.
You know, we've got a new listing audience in our B104 listing area, which has expanded. You know, a lot of area down in those area, and I apologize not telling folks that we do this every Wednesday. We have a little insurance seminar, a little insurance corner, talk about some of the things. So if you have a restaurant down in those areas, I know there's a lot of independently owned restaurants, and that is something that a lot of times, you know, the big chains and stuff like that, they kind of know a lot of these things that they won't mind doing, but some of the most independently owned ones, you know, you just say, hey man, I can make a great brisket, or I can make a great pie, or whatever. I need to go to business, but then they don't think about this part of it.
Right, and it's not anything to be afraid of. Nobody can force you. You know, all we're going to do is make recommendations. And honestly, and I know there's a lot of variables here, but you might be surprised. Say if you're own a business or own a restaurant and you've never carried insurance, or maybe you just carry property insurance on the building. Just get a quote. It's very likely not going to be as expensive as you think it might be. And of course, seeing the things I've seen over the many years of being an insurance agent, can be very expensive and even put you out of business if you don't have coverage for some of these things.
Yeah, so go by and talk to them, 549-2525, that's 940-549-2525, or the second floor of the Sierra Bank Building. Also look them up on the web at brianins.com.
Thank you.
Yes, I remember those.
I know you do.
So go check it out, and I promise you, you'll be glad you did. All right, they've been in business for almost 100 years.
We're getting close. I know 1921 is our 100-year anniversary.
Whoa.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Tommy and Brad have some ideas cooked up for that.
We're gonna have a big celebration.
Absolutely, you know we will.
All right, we're gonna hear from Casting Crowns, coming back to the weather, and we got more on the way, so stick around here on